Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain the load balancer part. Already we have discussed last week, but now we are going to discuss little more. So first of all, why load balancer is required? So I have a machine. Okay. So suppose I have a machine 1, right? So what if I get some, say, 100 traffic, 100 user? This machine is capable to handle 100 users, but my manager, my client is saying he is going to get some more load. So definitely this one machine not sufficient to handle, because 100 is okay, but what if 10,000 user? Definitely this will be crashed. So what I have to do, I have to add more machine. I have to add more machine. I have to add more machine. In this case, how do we, because the website is same, say www.citibank.com. Citibank.com. The website domain name is one single domain, right? So with this domain, whenever I access, say for example, I am going to this website, so directly it will come to this machine, but I don't want to come to this machine. I want to come to this machine as well as this machine as well as this machine as well as this machine. So in that case, I need to ensure each link, each machine should serve the same website, right? So in that case, each machine also has to be connected in the same database, right? Same database. So what I need to do, first, what I will do is, first I need to set up the infrastructure, right? So how do I set up the infrastructure? Setup means how do I create the infrastructure? How do I create the infrastructure? So I am going to give you the infrastructure. The infrastructure is, say for example, I am going to create a machine. Right? So I'm going to create a auto scaling. See, I'm starting with 2, okay, minimum, and also desired 2, maximum I'm saying 200. Okay, but the problem is in the auto scaling, we have to make sure the image should be custom image, because I have to take one machine, I have to create a folder, create a user, install software, configure all application. Then you take this as a AMI, custom AMI. So when you create auto scaling, you have to point this AMI. Otherwise, what will happen is auto scaling will happen. So the new machines will create it, but the load balancer, once it's activated, the traffic will, if comes here, this machine should be in a position to handle the request, in which case the application should be up and running, right? So so this is the simple concept. What we are going to do is, we are going to create a, first, before going to the all Route 53 everything, first I want to make sure you are all having good idea. I hope you already have. So I'm going to create a simple 2 machine, right? Another 2 machine. Okay, assume this is going to be in USA and this is going to be in Canada for just testing purpose, right? So I'm going to build a load balancer, right? Load balancer. So hi, now I'm going to just build load balancer here, because load balancer also region specific, right? So now how do I build the common web application across regions. So definitely you need to have something in front of load balancer for all region wise as a common. So in that case, what you have to do is you have to go with some DNS. Let me just delete this. So in that case, what you have to do, you have to build a domain name which is the root 53. I'm talking about AWS root 53, the service name. So you create one domain, say citibank.com. You have to create a rule whenever there is a traffic, come here. Whenever there is a traffic, come here. But this rule, how do you create it? This rule, how do you create it? So you need to create that whoever is accessing from USA, then you send those traffic back to USA servers. Whoever is accessing from Canada, this domain automatically send it to Canada servers, because we have a data privacy policy, right? Because your bank account is in USA, your bank account is not in Canada, correct? So in that case, how do you achieve this? First, we will go with the minimal setup, then slowly I will expand it to this, right? I hope everyone is seeing the read uh, the whiteboard, right? Can you confirm in the chat? Okay, so now I'm going to show you this is my AWS account. So first I'm going with North Virginia. So as per this diagram, we will take two environment. So I'm going to strike out all this. Okay, so we will take two region. One is North Virginia, okay, and I'm going to take another region, is a Canada. Okay, here I'm going to create a 2 machine. Here we are going to create a 2 machine. Okay, so here we are going to create a load balancer. Here we are going to create a load balancer. This is the first step. So in this load balancer, I'm going to attach these 2 machines. In this load balancer, I'm going to attach the 2 machines. This is the first step of POC 1. Some of the people also asked, what is mean by POC? This is the POC 1. POC means proof of concept. I'm doing something. I'm trying to learn something. So exercise 1. In old terminology, you will say exercise 1. If you ask me, I will not say exercise. In a modern word, that's it. Proof of concept. So don't get confused. Don't get panic. Proof of concept or exercise 1 or same. Sorry for my spelling. So exercise, both are same. You are doing something. You are doing some hands-on. This is POC 1. Like that, slowly we will increase. Okay, I'm going back here. I'm going back first to EC2. I'm going for first EC2. And we'll wait. So I'm going for an instance. In this instance, what we are going to do is, we are going to, I hope everyone is seeing my instance screen, right? EC2 screen. Okay, so now I'm going to say launch instance I'm going to say first I'm going with this Amazon tool Linux. This is for just testing. So I'm going with 1 CPU, 1 GB RAM. Mostly, if you are learning, don't go with any other one because you will be charged. As part of free tier, you always stick with this until unless you have any specific requirement, right? So now I'm going with 1, but I don't want to create a machine, log into the machine. I need to install some software. Of course, we need some web server to test this. Last week I have explained, right? Last week I have explained something called Bootstrap. How many of you remember? So it's the same. If I'm not put now, I have to log into the machine after created. I have to install all this and then I have to configure. So as now the purpose is I don't want to go inside the machine because that is not our goal. We want to just test the load balancer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this now itself while creating the machine where I have to give it to here, right? So I'm saying add storage. Hard disk size is 8. If you want to carefully use your free tier, always go with magnetic, right? So, but in your production, you make sure you want IOPS purpose or general one. So right now I am just learning. So I'm going with magnetic and security group. So you open some specific port or just for learning purpose, you go with all just for learning purpose. But in production, you make sure you want HTTP, you want a SSH, or you want a database, you want some application. So no, Kishore, we should not go with the default VPC. Let me go here. Okay, so I don't have any VPC now, so I'm going with the default VPC. Okay, how many of you? Okay, this is a very good question. So how many of you raise? You have a question. Why we should not go to VPC, default VPC for production? This also may be your exam question or interview question or real-time scenario you face. I'm strongly saying why you should not go and configure anything in default VPC. Anyone? You raise your hand. I will give you access. I will unmute you. Okay. I'm going to ask unmute. Yes, Delhi. Delhi?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
To avoid the regional restrictions.
No. Any other person? Go on mute. No.
Yeah, Vijay. So we should not touch the default one because it will be interlinked with interconnected with other regions. So last time you said like, so we should not use the default one. So instead of that, we are creating a new one.
Okay. First of all, please don't switch on your webcam because this is going to be published across the world. Kishore, please. Okay. So no, that is not a right one. So the first limitation you all have to aware.
Shall
okay.
I speak?
Sorry.
Shall I tell?
Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah. So Vijay, it's like we'll have a default VPC. We'll have a restriction of like the IP range, like which we need that in our real environment will not be having, and we'll have less IP also. It will be configured like that.
These are all correct, but what I'm expecting some important one which is very crucial.
Okay.
Any idea? Anyway, I'm going to explain. Hi, Bina.
Can I explain, sir?
Yes. Go ahead.
It is not persistent, sir. anytime it will change, but that are handled by AWS itself now.
No. No,
Vijay, I think
I'm expecting something very important point. Maybe if I'm not here, I will explain. Yeah, go ahead, Obana.
Yeah, Vijay, I think you said that because default VPC, all the subnet is open, and we don't have private subnet. It's like public subnet we have in default VPC. I don't know if you can create private subnet.
No. We have because the default VPC have everything, all possibilities. We can do it. Okay. Everyone
okay.
go on mute. I will explain because this is a very good question. That is why whenever you come across any question, please put it on the table. That is why we are here. Okay. So I am the reason why I should not go to default VPC at any cost in the production or development or any project purpose. Okay. So this is my location 1, say USA. Okay, this is my location Canada. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I have some web server, some application server, some database server. Okay, so I have here application server, web server, database server, or some more servers, right? So now I want to create, or I want to connect this application server to the here, right? So in that case, how do what is the challenges? So the idea here is, if I go with the default VPC, assume here also I have created in default VPC, here also I created in default VPC. My client, my manager, everybody saying this mission to this mission I need to contact, but not via internet. Not via internet. So I have to establish backbone AWS connectivity. So for that, I need to start VPC peering. So the first main challenge, people, it's really missing the point. Remember, once you created, you cannot change VPC. You have to again recreate everything. That is a major mess. Many times, many projects, whenever I involve as a consultation, I seen these architectural level gap. It's not a gap, it's a major fault. So please make sure, even if you don't have the requirement now, okay, tomorrow if you are going with a different one, or your requirement may change. Okay, let me go to Google. I will show you the default VPC. Okay, default VPC peering is not possible. Always try a couple of things in Google. So it's a really you will get a lot of information. So my advice is, don't go with your default VPC always. Default VPC just for your learning, not even a small project, not even a development, not even any kind of actual purpose. Hope you all understand. The peering is having a lot of limitation, so which you end up with a lot of issues. You have to recreate it. There is no other option. Yes, Praful. Yes, Muthu. I given access. You unmute.
Yeah, hi Vijay. Sorry, actually I just wanted to let you know that it is for mainly for testing perspective.
Yes.
For just creating a quick POC or something else,
Yes.
but it is not reasonable to create in production VPC because it's limitation, right?
Yes. So nowadays many small startups are one or two people. They want to have some small application, everything testing. So they are missing this major concern, and ending up with all their rework efforts. So whenever you want to learn something, I would prefer even learning also not for default VPC. I'm just showing you. Even if you go to my YouTube, there is a specific class I released I have explained this VPC pairing. So hereafter, don't go with the default VPC. Right now, I'm just creating a load balancer, so it's okay. But if you want to have any machine to machine, location to location, definitely the default VPC is not should not be your choice. Hope you all clear. Even so, hope you all clear, right? Okay, so now I'm going to delete this. So I'm just going to, okay, so add storage, add tags, security group. So I just opened security group for all, just for testing purpose. So I'm going to say next. Let me just go and check everything is fine. Instance details. So we will just edit this. And yes, the bootstrap also we have configured. Add storage and review launch. So now I'm going to create a new per, but we will check is there the previous key is available. So I'm going to create a new key pair saying that North Virginia load balancer. North Virginia load balancer. I'm downloading the key pair. Okay, and launch instance. Okay, so now we will name it as this as a server 1. Okay, so I'm going to name this as a server 1, save it, and I'm going to launch new instance. Okay, same image. I'm going with the same T2 micro. Last week we have discussed for what kind of a type, what kind of a purpose you need to decide. So configure instance detail. So I'm going to bootstrap. So as I explained, I'm going to change it this to, because I need some small difference. Otherwise, from my website, from which machine, from which location is coming, I cannot classify. Okay, so I'm going to copy this because you need to make sure in each and every level. Okay, so I'm just putting here, add storage, add tags, security group. We will go with the existing security group. Okay, and review launch and come down, launch it. And we are selecting the actual key pair, launch instance. We will name this as a server 2. We will name this as server 2. Okay, so server 2, sorry, server 2, save it. So now, as per the diagram, we built North Virginia server 1, North Virginia server 2. Hope you are able to see the diagram, right? So now we need to create a load balancer. We need to create a load balancer, right? So I'm going here. So we have finished this part. We have finished this part. We have to create and complete this part, right? Again, I'm repeating, don't go with default VPC. You have to create a new VPC. You have to create a public subnet, and you have to create a private subnet. Start use this. So probably I will try to cover the VPC explanation in one of the session. That also networking part going to be more sensitive. I'm coming here now, going for a load balancer. Let's wait. I click the load balancer. Yes. So now I'm going to create a load balancer. Okay. I'm going for application load balancer and network load balancer and a gateway load balancer. As of now, I'm going with the normal one, classic. So web server 1 load balancer or web server load balancer. You can name it anything. So you select the which VPC you have, and you can go with HTTP load balancer port. So here also many of the people will have a confusion. This port is coming from you are sitting in internet, right? You are sitting in internet. So from internet you are coming. So that is a port. But once you reach this load balancer, you need to send it to the server. That is this port. So this is the internal your application running port. This is the from external you are hitting, right? Hitting the wall. So both are different. So come down. I am going to. Where is that clear? Okay. So now I'm going to say assign security group. If you have a different port, yes. See, you have to here say 8000, but normally I would prefer most of my application expose should be port 80 and 443. But the outside world, it should be 80 and 443, but inside you can keep it. But in that case, you better go with the application load balancer, because application load balancer normally will have all this option. But if you want to give 80-80, then you have to give like this 80-80. So people will access the front end 80, and it will redirect it to your actual instance port, which is running 80-80. So as of now, our web servers are 80. So I'm going with this. So yeah, which scenario we will see. As I said last week, if you have an application running and your application needs the sticky, your application level having any HTTP, you want to mount it in the load balancer itself, HTTPS certificate, then application load balancer. If you have any network devices just to control, then it's a network load balancer. Even the network load balancer you can reach or configure via IP address. And gateway load balancer, something you need to define what kind of a traffic you want to manage. I will explain gateway load balancer with some example. Let's go with this. And I'm going for a assign security group. Okay, so here, if you want to create a new security group, go for it. But I would prefer for one single application, or for one single environment, or for one single project, you always stick with one single security group. And in that security group, make sure related to the project or related to the application or related to the account, you open all related ports. That will be easy to manage. So as of now, we know this security group we have created for all ports, just for learning purpose. So I'm going with that security group. So here, health check. How many of you, what is mean by say load balancer will do two functionality. What are those functionality? Any idea? If you want, you can raise the hand. I can unmute you. Yeah, Praful.
Hi, Vijay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I think the health check means like the load balancer is always checking whatever the traffic is coming towards the server, and if it finds like load as per the requirement or parameter setup, then it may trigger another request to the another server based on the health check setup.
Okay. So in here, you also agree, right? Load balancer will do a two job. One is, are you alive? Are you alive? That is the continuous job. And another one is, if you are alive, I'm keep sending the traffic as per the configured protocol, like load or priority or high performance. So what kind of a round robin? So during that configured one, I will send. That is a task 2. But task 1, even you down, I will keep check you as long as you associated with me. You agree? This 2 task is more important for load balancer, because load balancer is not only sending the traffic. So load balancer also checking whether you are alive continuously as long as the instance is associated with that load balancer. So I'm going to check a 5. Okay, there is a Madhavi, there is a Ravi Kumar. Yeah, I unmuted. You can go for it.
I just want to say about load balancer only.
Yeah, go ahead.
So it performs health checks on all registered instances.
Yeah.
So that the load balancer routes requests only to that healthy instances.
Yes. So you agree, right, Madhavi? So there will be a 2 job. One is, are you okay? That is a continuous activity. The another activity is, okay, you are active, so you are healthy. So I need to give some task. These 2 are continuous tasks for load balancer.
Yes, I agree.
Okay. So now here, unhealthy threshold. What does that mean? So if you go here, I don't want to go to 30 interval. So I'm going with 50 because as part of this learning, it will take a lot of time. So unhealthy threshold. If you move the cursor to here, it is saying, I will check you. If I not get any proper response more than 2 times, I will mark you as not healthy. And I will keep on check with you every 10 seconds. So I'm going to say 5. So I will try to check 5 times. If I am not get any more than 2 proper response, then you are not healthy. So this you have to understand very clearly. Come down. And here also, you remember the bootstrap script, we are giving index.html, right? In your application or in your project, if you have any different, then you need to make sure here. So as long as the load balancer is query to that port, what kind of a file you are going to assign for this, because you know your application having this file constantly. If the application able to serve this file, application when accessed from outside able to read this file, that means the application is working fine. So you need to decide what kind of a parameter you are going to put it here. So since I configured a normal web server, I am putting index.html. Come down, add EC2 instance. So there are 2 instances we created. So I'm going here. So what does this mean? Enable cross-zone load balancing and enable connection draining. Any idea? What does that mean? What are the situation it will help me to decide or configure or during the interview or exam? This is how you need to learn. Don't go with load balancer creation. Next. I know load balancer. No, don't go with this. If you learn even 10 minutes, learn properly. You ask hundreds of questions in your head and try to get the answer. This is the way you will put your base very strong. Any idea? Okay, Muthu and
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, if you have a multiple zone across a region, then if we enable the cross zone load balancing, it will behave like playing for all their zone.
Okay. Okay, Madhavi, Ravi.
Yes, Vijay. Yeah. Cross zone load balancing, if you enable, so it reduces the need to maintain equal number of instances in each zone.
Okay.
So then our application ability to handle the loss.
Okay, here I'm going to ask one question. Even if you are wrong, put it here. So I have a North Virginia. Okay. In that North Virginia, there is a 6 availability zone.
Okay.
6 availability zone.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say this is availability zone 1, availability zone 2, availability zone 3. Okay, normally there is a 6 availability zone. So this is the load balancer. Okay, so there are a couple of servers here, there are a couple of servers here, there are a couple of servers here. Why I'm going with servers here, servers here? Why don't I go? Why I can go with here itself, right? All servers. Then what is the point to go with across availability zones?
Data center failure.
Yeah. So whenever you want to implement something, each and every level you need to think on the redundancy. So even this entire data center goes down, you still have this server, and the end user will not get affected because the load balancer still can go here. So in that case, while configuring, you should have the flexibility. You should have the future to be enabled in the load balancer itself. So you have to have cross zone load balancer. So even right now, if you see our servers, server 1 and server 2, where is this? Only one availability zone we have. Both machines are created in one single availability zone, but still we are enabling this option, which means tomorrow, if you want to enable auto scaling, tomorrow, if you want to add hundreds of servers, tomorrow, even if you want to change your mind, again, you no need to reconfigure everything. Hope I'm clear, Madhavi, everyone.
Yes, sir. Yes, Vijay.
Yeah. So this is how whenever you first fix some target, like during the learning, during the 2 to 3 months, don't rush up. Each and every step you put some question and try to clarify so that you will feel good. After 3 months, you no need to be slow. You go very fast. Okay, let me just clear it out. I'm going to close this. So what is this enable connection draining? What is this enable connection draining? Okay, Isaac and Muthu.
Okay, yeah, connection draining. That is the time for the in-flight request from load balancer to reach the instances. If the instances is meant to die, it has to process that in-flight request before it finally be registered from a load balancer.
Yes.
That's the time.
So basically, the connection draining means you are going to remove something for maintenance, or you are going to take out, right? So, but already there is a traffic is getting served. So this option will ensure the current serving traffic or current process will not get affected. Once it will wait till after completion, it will take out one by one. So this option also very important. When you go to any project or go to any exam, please make sure you are understood this. Okay, I'm going to say add tags, review, create. I'm going to create a load balancer. So the same North Virginia, right? I'm going to go for some Canada Central. So as per this diagram, now we are going to implement this. We implemented, and this we are going to implement now. So this time I'm going to create very quickly, because the same whatever we explained, we are going to go for it. Yes, Muthu. I think.
No, sir, I don't have.
Okay. So here,
Vijay,
yes, go ahead.
this is Madhu. So you explained cross-zone load balancing, right?
Yes.
So when I saw you launched the instances, the two instances are in the same availability zone.
Yeah, because if you see, I'm going to launch instance. Go on mute. I will explain. So launch instance. When I say launch instance, I haven't specified any availability zone. I just said you decide. But normally in production, or in your project, you will decide what availability zone you want. But when I created, if you observe, I haven't selected anything particularly. So I said I don't have any preference, you go for it. So since we created only 2, normally the provider will go for from one single location. But if you create a 200, definitely the 200 machines or some bulk machines, they will spread across the availability zone, not from same availability zone. Right? If you want, you can create first machine you want from here, second machine you want it from here, third machine you want. So it's up to you. But I preferred, I haven't selected anything because just for learning. But you need to make sure what is that option mean. Cross zone load balancing, right? Come down, there is a bootstrap. So here, since it's a Canada, I'm going to say Canada server 1. And I'm going to copy this, go here and put it bootstrap, say add storage, add tags, security group, because Canada we haven't created till now, so we have to create. So launch wizard 1, and I'm going to say all traffic. I'm going to say anywhere, say review launch it. Since we haven't have anything here, so best we will create a new key pair. I'm saying Canada load balancer testing, download it and launch instance. So the same, I'm going to say, yes, FOC, you have any query?
Yeah, I want to ask, how do we create Bootstrap? Because
sorry, can you repeat your question?
How do we come about the Bootstrap? How do we create it?
Bootstrap means, okay, let me just explain.
Okay.
Server 1, I'm going to save it. Okay, say whenever you launch instance, whenever you select which OS you want, you have to select how many CPU, how many memory. Then are you able to see my screen, FOC?
Yes, I can see it.
So if you come, because there is a 2-way. One is, let me diagram. So this is my machine I created. After created, you using putty, you log in here, you run this command. This also one way, but I don't want to log in again because that is the additional effort. I'm wasting another 5 minutes. So rather than, I know what I need to do. I know the commands, everything. So better, instead of going inside, while creating itself, come down, there is a area where you type, say for example, I'm going to open up the, okay. So are you able to see the notepad?
Yes, I can see
so
it.
say for example, your project is saying, hey, can you go and configure some different software, say some different Nginx or anything. So you know how to install Nginx and all, right, or Tomcat or whatever. So you first define all the commands together and copy paste here. That's it.
Okay.
So what will happen is, while creating the server, once created, this commands also will be executed before up and running. This is very easy, right?
Yes, I'm getting it.
So instead of I create and then using putty, I log in, I execute this command. Okay, so we have another way to achieve that. So better go for this.
Okay.
So here, since we given server 1, the previous machine, now to differentiate, I am changing Canada server 2. So copy this, go here and paste it and say add storage. And since I don't want to waste my free tier, of course I'm not a free tier, but I just informing you, go for a tax, security group. And since we created the one, so I am selecting launch wizard one, the previous security group. So I'm going to say launch. So we have one RSA key, the key pair. So I'm selecting this. This time, this server is going to be server 2. This time, this server is going to be server 2. Save it. And I'm going to first check the load balancer. Of course, in Canada, we haven't created any load balancer. So I'm going to create a load balancer. And I'm going to say which one we want. I'm going to say the previous one, create it. So web server, load balancer, and my HTTP port. Hi, Sril. I'm just, yeah, you can ask Sril.
Yeah, sorry, Vijay, I just want to take over to one thing. Just want to understand one thing. Are we going to implement sticky session when we establish the cross-doors load balancer?
Yeah,
Because
but you need to select application load balancer. Last week I explained, right?
okay.
So you need to create a missions first, and then you need to create a target group. Okay, let me quickly draw the diagram. So last week, you are asking sticky bit. So in that case, you create a EC2 instance, Sril. So in that EC2 instance, make sure you have some application. Assume you already installed some application, right? So you create a target group. Okay, in that target group, you associate this EC2 instance. Okay, then load balancer perspective, you create a application load balancer. Okay, you attach this target group. That's it.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
So in this case, you have a SSL, HTTPS terminated here itself. You can manage all sticky session in very well. But what we are trying is we are trying the other part of load balancer to show you some kind of a e-commerce website or anything. Here also you can go with the ALB. But I don't have any application. That is why I'm going with a basic web server to make sure you all understand the concept.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so I'm just proceeding. So this port, anyway, we have installed a simple web server. So port 80 is fine. Security groups, already we have this security group. I'm going with this. So health check, I don't want to wait more time because it's my learning. Even the healthy threshold also, I'm reducing it. I don't want to take more time. Add instance. So there is a 2 instance, the same setting, cross zone, as well as enable connection draining, and review and say create. Now, as a layman, I want to first understand the load balancer is working or not, right? So where I go and check this load balancer, go to load balancer, go to instance. Please make sure your running instance or healthy. If you see in service, that means which means it's a healthy, right? So now what I need to do, I need to go to here, take the load balancer, the DNS name, okay, and copy this and go here and paste it and enter. See here, North Virginia server 2 and reload it. See, you are seeing the load balancing, right? So which means you are good to go. The first phase is completed. So I'm just going to reload. Okay, so this is North Virginia is fine. The same way I'm going for Canada. I'm going for Canada, and then first I will ensure my instance are probed properly. Yes, in service. That means it's fine. So I'm going to copy this DNS name, and I'm going to put it here. See here, Canada server 1, reload, reload, reload. So the load balancing is working. Hope you understand why I keep changing each server bootstrap this. This is the purpose, because I don't know anything. I just want to know, because I'm a beginner, I'm a student. I want to just learn. While learning, I want to see what exactly happening. This is the where people are really getting missed out. Keep on started complaining that I don't have a real-time experience. This is the real time. The same concept, the same steps only you will do it in your production. So in your lab, in your free trial account, if you do this, you put it in your resume that I am doing. Maybe you do some other responsibility in your project, but that doesn't matter. If you do this 10 times, you can claim yourself that you are doing this task as in AWS project. Of course, you are not working in AWS project, but you can very well climb because you know what you are doing. This is exactly I'm advising many years. Hereafter, don't say you don't have a real-time experience. You have real-time. This is the real-time. But only thing is you need to understand the concepts, the parameters, and the settings. That's it. Okay. So now I'm going to ask you a simple question, because this is a major problem nowadays people are facing. I have one scenario. Okay. I am having one application, maybe 𝐶𝐞 or Nginx or any application. So if you are configuring that application in your server and putting in a load balancer in front, when you access your application via load balancer, you are seeing a lot of issues, like suddenly the page is getting timeout. Suddenly the page is not proper, stable. There are so many issues. Even you checked with the application team and the application vendor, everything is fine. Then where is the problem? Any idea? You can suspect it. Yes, Shailesh.
Yeah, Vijay, could it be the health service is not able to reach because of some firewall rules?
I given an answer also in my screen. Yes, Cyril.
Is that correct? The one that I answered, because of some firewall rule where it is not able to reach.
That is a general, because firewall. Okay. See, firewall, if you have any issues, first of all, you will not get the screen itself, right, Shailesh?
Yeah, I agree. I understand. But if the health service is not able to reach to the VMs, it might keep on restarting them.
Yeah, that's also one of the thing. But the first thing, you go and check this. I will explain after hearing some versions. Yes, Cyril, go ahead. Cyril, you are not audible. Hello. Okay, Muthu, Madhavi.
Yes, Vijay. If the server is down, then
no. I'm asked. My question is different. My question is, the application I'm able to access via load balancer. That is completely fine. So that means the server is up and running. I'm able to reach the server via load balancer. Everything fine. But frequently, the page is getting timeout. Page is behaving a very unstable. So in that case, where and all you will check. Of course, firewall, everyone knows. We need to check the security part, everything. Yes, Matthew. Yes, Bertrand.
Yeah, there is that attribute exit either timeout.
Yes, exactly. See, recently we faced a lot of you know the Tableau and Click. There are a lot of data related application, right? So if you face any problem, please first open the specific application or software documentation, and in that documentation you need to find, is there any timeout settings? Okay, this is very important. People are really missing these days. If the timeout recommendation settings is say 900 seconds or 1200 seconds or 1600, it entirely depends on the product. So in our case, they clearly mention anything above 1750 seconds. Below that, the application will not be stable. The cookie will not work properly. There is a lot of mess. After even AWS, so many support, we are not able to, because nobody first of all go in this, but the culprit is, this is the culprit. So simple, you need to go here and attach, edit this simple. Let me go here. So this, so even if you want in go and check this documentation, but this documentation is for AWS. So the connection throttle, you have to make sure you are matching with your application. This is the first thing you need to make in your mind, always according to your deployed application. Yes, Bertrand. I think Bertrand, yes.
No, I already answered.
Okay.
Let me lower my hand.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry for that.
Muthu. Okay.
Sorry, I will.
Okay. So this also one of the parameter. It's a very critical. So hereafter, if you are configuring any load balancer, this is applicable to Azure. This is applicable to any cloud, even on-prem, everywhere. If you bring something under load balancer, please make sure your application, everything is matching to the one which they have default ideal timeout, right? So come down. So both is working. Now what we are going to do is, as per this, we are going to, so now in this case, I'm going to ask you a simple question. So you have the load balancer here, you have load balancer here. Now, how do you configure citibank.com? Citibank.com. So basically, if anyone from Africa, anyone from US, anyone from India, anyone from Canada access this website, should come either North Virginia, should come either Canada. Right now, this is separate, this is separate. But I want to bring everything under one single domain. How do you do that? Yes, Shailesh, Ravi, Obina, Mani.
Yes, sorry, Vijay. Actually, regarding the ideal timeout, I just had one query. Hence, I raised a doubt over there.
Yeah.
So the timeout settings that you showed, right? It is with respect to making in sync your application timeout to the timeout of load balancer. That's what you meant to say, correct?
Yes. It's because
Perfect,
the application which you configuring in that EC2 instance, they will have separate guidelines.
Correct.
Right? And
yes,
this ideal timeout is for AWS guideline. So both has to at least match somewhere, some minimum requirement. Otherwise, what will happen is the application will stick with their guideline, timeout guideline, and the load balancer is not going to promise the same guideline, which creating a lot of mess.
Correct. I think that's a very valid point, because normally when you configure load balancer, you don't try to think of settings which are similar on both the sides, and that's where you mess it up.
We spent a huge time. Even the AWS never suspected this area, because they don't have application knowledge, right? So they are their product. So the application support also they don't have, because they don't have AWS knowledge. So this is where we have to be very careful.
Makes sense. Very valid point. Thanks for that information.
Yeah. Okay. So here, any idea how do you map this under common domain name?
Yes, Vijay. We can use Route 53 to configure these two load balancers, and it depends on your use case. You can use a routing policy, either geo proximity or geolocation.
Okay. So now for this in AWS, there is a service called Route 53. So what we are going to do is, we are going to Route 53. I have registered some domain for your easy example. Then I will go all the questions which I posted in the agenda, because before that I just want to create a small POC. Then I will go and explain one by one, which I posted yesterday. That will be really easy you all to understand. Okay, now what I did is I have registered one domain. Normally it will cost around $12. So basically I created my domain 𝐕𝐢𝐼Cloudandload.com. You can create anything. Okay, maybe some testing domain. You can register it. Once you registered, once you enable the payment, then from pending request to registered domain, it will be appear. The moment you got the registered domain, that means your domain is approved, your domain is active, right? So now the moment you started seeing registered domains, okay, if you want to register new domain, simple, you go to register domain, you search something, I can do it, okay, and search it. So it's not available. So you can say, I have all talents or something. So you check something like this, okay, is available, and say add to cart and then continue. You can give all information, then you can say continue, then it will come under pending request. Once you paid, going to your billing dashboard, then it will start appear here. So the moment you got this, go to hosted zones, because you need one hosted zone, because you need one parent domain. Hosted zone means you need one parent domain. That parent domain should be declared in hosted zones, right? So go here. First, I will go some exercise. Then I will open up all the questions which I posted yesterday, the use case. One by one, I will explain. Because before I explain, I want to show you some basic funda so that you all will be clear. Okay, so there are few hands. Can I unmute? Yeah, Madhavi, Vignesh, Ravi.
Vijay, so whichever the domain name you have registered here, I think we can register on other websites also, GoDaddy or some
Yes.
Then how can we add that? Like if you registered it outside, like you have registered it here itself.
There is a different procedure. Probably I will explain. So
Okay.
as of now, AWS also can be a domain registrar, and I'm going with that. Say for example, in your case, you go with GoDaddy or Big Rock or any domain provider. There is a NS record. You need to bring it here, and you need to configure it. That's it. Okay, so go here, and I'll just give you a high level idea. So create a hosted zone, and you need to map it to the specific records. That's it. So I'll if you want, you just remind me. I will give you a detailed steps. Okay, so now I'm going for this domain. Okay, now I'm going to have this one. What we did, we have now North Virginia, some infrastructure. We have Canada, right? So I am going to configure one domain called 𝐕𝐢𝐼Cloudandload.com. Okay, so now whoever is accessing from any part of the world, I'm going to decide, say from US coming to this website, from where they have to reach this traffic. Some people come from, say, India. So where they have to reach, this is exactly I'm going to define, because I'm seeing there are a lot of people joined from a different country. So it's a very good to test along with your people. Yes, Vijay, can you raise your hand so that I can unmute you? Yes. Ravi, I think Vijay R. Can you raise your hand? I can unmute you.
So in the hosted zone, Vijay, what exactly we have done here? Like,
so hosted zone means it's a parent domain, Ravi. So you need one domain at least. If you have to have some websites or business web application, definitely you are going to host via some domain name, right? Say Amazon.com, Amazon.in. So you need one parent domain. In that parent domain, you classify the further records. I will explain this part later, but first I will show you what is happening. Vijay, are you able to? Yeah, just a minute. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
Thanks, Vijay. The question already asked the previous one, because I have the same question. If I have a domain name in other host provided, what I have to do? So he is already this. You can proceed.
Yes. You remind. I will share with you detailed information step by step, so that it will be easy. See, the same. You have to make sure the say GoDaddy means this information you have to authenticate. That's it. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear all this and I'm going to configure it. So first I'm going to create a record. While creating a record, okay, I'm going to say what kind of a alias. So we have to create some alias. Okay, let me go with the old if possible. I'm going with the hosted zones. I'm going with this. Create record. So I'm just enabling the alias. So in that case, I'm going to go for simple alias. So in that case, what kind of a load balancer? So I'm just enabling the load balancer. So in this case, can you select the North Virginia, US, North Virginia? So here I have my load balancer because we have two load balancer, right? So select this. I'm going to say a simple routing, right? So I'm just going to create a records. Okay. And now I'm going to say another create record. I'm enabling the alias because they are changing lot of UI changes. So even I'm getting confused with this because the previous it's pretty much straightforward. Even Azure, everybody, they are keep on changing their UI because they want to improve the UI. So I'm going to say alias and my load balancer. This time I'm going to select Canada and the Canada load balancer. It's a simple routing. I will explain now. Create record. Okay, now it is going to be Canada. Previously, we can even say you can add the US one. Even if you want, I can delete this previous one. We will create as per this one. And I'm going to create again. So you can say North Virginia alias North Virginia. Okay, and load balancer, create. So now, can anyone from your browser, I hope you are attending from laptop, so can you call this website? I want to make sure, put it in the chat what exactly you are seeing. Maybe, are you able to see this, any message? If you are seeing, can you raise your hand and tell me what you are seeing when you access this domain? Because for me, I configured, so my IP will take a lot of time. So yes, Madhavi.
Vijay, I'm also getting the same message. Site cannot be reached.
Anybody, can you try with some mobile internet instead of Wi-Fi? Somebody, because it's taking some time. Let me check. Yes, Oben. Hello, Soben, or Vijay?
No, Vijay. I'm also same issue.
Hey Vijay, you create a record like USN, can it not create a 𝐕𝐺𝐶loud.com?
No.
And not set any value?
Yes, but before that, I just want to make sure, are you getting anything from here?
Yes, this same message, this site cannot
okay.
be reached.
So now, can you go and access this? Okay, what is the record we have created? Canada. Okay, can everyone try canada.vijaycloudandloud.com? Are you able to see this? Because I just want to make sure people, whenever you are working in live domain, you have some development, but you want to simulate the development in the live. Yes, as a subdomain, right? So this is the easiest way to populate this.
Hello.
Hello, yeah.
Hi, Vijay. Yes, I can see the Canada server 1.
Okay, Canada server 1. So
yes,
can everyone confirm in the chat? Are you able to see it now? Can you confirm what server you are seeing? Canada server 1 or server 2? Probably you can keep reload. If anybody see Canada server 1 after a couple of times, yes. So now can go and try this domain nv.vijaycloudandloud.com. nv.vijaycloudandloud.com. Are you able to see North Virginia server? Yes, Madhavi.
Yes, Vijay, I am seeing North Virginia server 1.
Now you all tell me, I have one parent domain. Okay, maybe this is my development purpose, this is my UAT purpose, but still I'm not disturbing any live domain. I am configuring some alias and redirecting to my actual environment. I'm redirecting to actual environment. Is it really good, or still I need to go with the different domain with all alias? This is more than enough, right? To Praful, Madhavi, Soban.
Yes, Vijay.
Yeah.
Yes, Vijay.
So this is the simple way you can achieve all your environment in one single umbrella. Now we will go and see there are a lot of routing types we need to understand. Okay. First of all, before I start this, we will have a small discussion and we will take some small break. Then we will go with further explanation. First, we will go one by one. What is meant by simple routing? What is meant by simple routing? And what is first we will go simple routing, then we will go weighted, then we will go one by one.
Can I tell you?
Yeah, go ahead.
Simple routing is just transfer the traffic to what were the rules, so it will not do anything.
So basically you have something, multiple environments, you are going to just map it to the particular environment. That's it. You are not going to any decision making here or anything. Just you are mapping to some way or some environment or some resources. That's it. Correct? Is it correct, Vijay, Madhavi, Ravi?
Yes. It is simple routing like this.
Obina?
No, yes, you're right.
Yeah. So simple routing, whenever you have any such situation, like I have my project, I have a lot of sub environments, or I have multiple application deliverable environments. So in that case, you just build the environment, attach it to the load balancer, or attach it to the some kind of a CDN, and make it here. So with the same domain name, you are going to add some alias and make it testing or make it works. So this is the simple routing. And what is meant by weighted? What kind of a scenarios you need weighted? Any example? Isaac? Advali? Sorry, I'm not able to pronounce the names. Sorry for this.
Do you?
Yeah, go ahead, Isaac.
Okay. Yes. Which a policy is where you indicate the certain percentage of the traffic you want to be directed to a certain part of your server.
So here, let us, okay, hope you all got this. So we will create another diagram. So simple, what is the option? Weighted. In that case, I'm going to draw a diagram. So weighted means I have some of the infrastructure. Okay, maybe this is in US and some of the infrastructure is in Canada. Some of the infrastructure is, say, some in UK. Right, I have few servers here, but everything tagged under the same domain name, .com, right? So in this case, let me go here. So if you go and see here, clearly saying the weight number can be between 0 and 255. That's fine. But what is happening when I say weighted? So when I say weighted, you are prioritizing the request. Say, for example, if you feel this is going to be the more capacity, more bandwidth handling infrastructure, then make all prioritize here. Okay, and second and three. So mostly it will send all the requests to here, and then here, then here. So you are prioritizing the weightage. Right? So go here and come down. What is meant by geolocation? Because these are all you need to understand. Because if you understand this, in Azure Traffic Manager is a pretty much maximum 1 hour, maximum 10 minutes you can learn. This is why most of so many years I'm telling. So many people, they ask me, Vijay, I want to learn. I already know AWS, but I'm struggling to learn Azure. No. You learn one cloud in depth, maximum 10 minutes you can learn other clouds, because the name is different, the deliverable terminology is different, but the concept wise everywhere same. So what is meant by geolocation routing policy? What kind of a use case you will need this? Yeah, Advale and Isaac, even Sunita.
Yeah, for geolocation, I'm just guessing with the name. It should be more in terms of like if it's Europe specific, then it has to be in Europe, and if it is US specific, or it is as per the GDPR rules or something like that. I don't know if I'm right, but I'm just.
No.
Well,
It's right. There is a important one you mentioned, GDPR. Yeah. Any other? Anyway, I'm going to explain, but I want to hear from you all. Yeah, Matthew, Bertrand.
Yeah. So geolocation is basically when you route the traffic directly to a specific location. Just for example, you don't want people from Africa to access that website. So you cut Africa away from accessing that domain. That is what geolocation is used for.
Exactly. So basically, you can control, because some of the websites, maybe from the business decision, they don't want to give, or they don't want to visible from some countries. So in that case, previously, I still remember when I started my career, this is really hard to configure. But now it's pretty much straightforward. I am going to define what location, whether it is allowed or not allowed. This website is going to accessible only from that location. This website is going to disable from those locations. That's it. So what kind of a business purpose or business use case we need this? Basically, say for example, my website is handling European citizens, or only Africa related information, or Africa related business, or US related business, or so India. So in that case, I need to allow only from this. Okay, let me give you a very good example for this. I think there is a website you all can access. So you tell me, ictjobs.b. Yeah, can you access this website from India, from US, and from Africa? Can you confirm whether you are able to? In your browser, can you access this website? And because this is a very good example to make you more comfort in geolocation policy. Confirm in the chat. Yes. So Soban, so you are in India and you are not able to access, right? Okay, Pakistan. So Sunita, so you are accessing from India. So that means whoever is in Europe, they can access. Whoever is outside Europe, they cannot. So this is the pretty much a simple example you can make it for this. Are you clear in this? Hope everyone is clear. This routing policy. It's a pretty much very easy option, but the purpose is going to be massive. Okay, and what about this latency? What kind of a scenario I need this routing policy? What kind of a scenario or what kind of a use case I need this? Yes, Obina, Isaac.
Yes, latency is where you want your customer to be able to get your traffic based on the high demand. You don't want no delay. Quickly, yes. You want them to be able to access the domain.
Okay, so
latency.
Yeah, go ahead.
Latency.
The lowest latency.
Latency is location of your customer. Like if somebody is in Canada, even though they have Canada, but maybe your site is USA is closer to them. So when they access, it direct them to US.
Yeah. So in that case, I'm going to draw a diagram, because this also, whenever I interview any candidate, they are having a huge wrong understanding. Okay. You let me know. I have US location. I have Canada location. I have a UK location. I have a Africa location. Okay, just for example. Okay. So I have all mapped to one domain name, say .com. Okay, now my question is, I'm going to ask first question, because before I go to as much use case, I want to make sure you all clear in all the concepts. So first question, I am in US. I am just a layman. I don't know anything. I am in US. So I am accessing this .com. So now you tell me, I configured latency as my routing policy. Latency as my routing policy for this domain. So now, which machine, from which server I will get the website? Sunita, Isaac, Praful, Obena, Matthew, Srikanth.
Whichever is the closest. If I'm in US.
From
US.
US. Yeah.
US. Okay. If the US server is not reachable or down, then what is the next closest route?
Canada.
Nearest is Canada.
Okay. So you all agree what is mean by latency?
Yes.
Yeah. So now I'm going to ask another question. I am a user. I am in Canada. Okay. And I'm going to access this website. Then first preference, from which server or which infrastructure I will get it in?
Canada
itself. Yeah.
Okay. So now you all tell me what is mean by low latency?
Because he's that
nearest.
Yes,
nearest one,
exactly. So I am in some location. Okay. Latency means how soon, because I have some issue. I met with an accident. So I need to reach nearby hospital. Right. So I cannot go. I can go all the hospital, but first aid I have to do it with nearby hospital. So I have to reach something nearby me where I'm standing. So that is the exact this purpose. Hope you all clear.
So Vijay, it's a kind of CDN network, right?
Exactly.
Content network. Yeah.
See, no. The content also will do some more things. We will come back after this. So are you clear in this latency?
Yeah.
So now I'm going back to here. I'm going back to failover. Then, of course, the name itself, you know what is meant by failover. So can you tell me what you think about failover?
So as per my understanding, like let's say multi-AZ failover, like you have two different availability zones, and one availability zone goes down, it will be automatically failover to different availability zone.
Okay. So in this case, tell me, I'm going to create another diagram.
Yeah.
So the failover, I have the Canada some infrastructure. I have US infrastructure. So I have mapped with one domain name .com. Okay. So I configured this in say failover routing policy. In this case, what kind of a scenario or what kind of a use case you will use it? Apply this routing policy. Praful, Obena.
So I will say all my traffic will go to US, but if US is done, then it start routing to Canada.
Yes. So in that case, I have something. So I want to take, my manager is saying, okay, this weekend there is a critical patch, you take out. So in that case, I don't want to disrupt, because I cannot ask all whole world, okay, hey, I'm going to do a maintenance. Can you wait for some 24 hours? No, you cannot say that, because you are in front of the business. So you have to configure in such a way that whenever you go for anything, automatically you go. So in this scenario, how RPO do you think RPO or RTO will match this, or how it is? In failover, do you think first RPO or RTO?
RTO.
RPO.
I think I would say RTO.
Okay. See, whenever you get into situation where the data, then RPO means recovery point. You remember this point.
Yes,
Point means data. RTO, time. See, point time. So time means it's a high availability.
Yeah.
Hachi,
How
high
fast?
availability.
Yeah.
Yeah, how fast you can
Yes.
restore my business. Of course, in this, you need to think about the RPO, because when this site goes down, or due to something, maintenance or whatever, you are redirecting all the traffic. In that case, this site also have to have up to date your transaction data, correct?
Oh, okay,
Yes.
yeah.
So in that case, when you say RTO failing over to other side, and RPO also should be intact always, correct?
Yeah.
Via some private backbone link, frequent sync the data between this site and this site, correct?
Yes.
So RTO is failing over. RPO is data sync. Please, please understand. RTO means T, time, high availability. RPO means P, point. Point means data. Okay, so wherever you go, any scenario, you have the RPO, RTO, functional requirements, and non-functional requirements. These are all going to play you lifelong. Don't think that RPO and RTO will come in only one or two scenarios. No, wherever you work, wherever you go, you please make sure, try to ask a related RPO question, try to ask related RTO question, try to ask related functional question and non-functional question. That's it. So in this, what is your non-functional questions you will ask? So in this scenario, can you tell me? Maybe money, Jefferson, Obina. Okay.
Okay, so a non-functional question you would ask would be, does Canada have the compute and the memory to handle that load that was in the US before you fail over? So you have to check that they have the capacity.
Exactly. Okay. What about non-functional requirements you think of in this scenario? Non-functional requirements. So one is you answered. So before you want to, before you get into this situation, you need to assume, okay, if this failure happens, if this failover happens, what all I need to ensure? Okay, so you are replied that the compute and all we need to make sure similar to this or near to this capacity. But what all you can think of as part of NFR, non-functional requirements? Yeah, so disaster recovery and compliance, yes, exactly. And what all you think of non-functional requirements? The data going to be the intact, or how I am going to ensure, say 9 o'clock this crashes happen, right? Till 9 o'clock, whatever transaction stored here, all the transactions should be also should be available here. So in that case, are you going to test the data transfer rate, and are you going to ensure the delta data here, delta? So the same delta has to be here. So in that case, you need to make sure the relevant network bandwidth to sync the data and the backup. Also, you need to plan for another site, because even this site goes down, you need to have some common site for just for a data backup. So this data also has to have a connectivity between this and here. So these are all will fall under NFR. Reliability, yes. Latency, data recovery, notification, main money, money, yes, you are correct. Notification, what all happening, everybody has to get notified, right? These are all comes under NFR, non-functional. People are thinking that non-functional requirement and functional requirements are not for my responsibility, because I'm a system administrator, I'm a cloud admin. No, hereafter you cannot climb in that way. You have to know everything. Then only you can take a decision. Then only you can go very confident in the interview, then only you can go very confident on any project. Then only you can start plan your career very confidently. Okay, so now I'm going here. So almost all. So we are going to do one by one and see how things are going to work. Can we have some 10 minutes break? You all come back after